Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is episode 91. We've got Brett, Erica, Gary, and Gabby, and myself. And we are going to have a little look. I mean, our starting point is going to be animal companions. Where we end up, as you well know by now, could be anywhere. So, date of recording is actually Smokey's birthday. Now, I know you'll be going, who the hell is Smokey? Smokey is Brett and Erica's dog, or perhaps Brett and Erica are Smokey's people because he is an extremely intelligent dog. So, happy first birthday to Smokey. But why is it that our animal companions are so important to us? Why is it that people who live alone will die many years earlier compared to those who live alone and have an animal companion? And what is it that we get from them that we perhaps fail to get from our other human interactions? We even have like therapy animals. They go to hospitals and visit, and people have emotional support animals. I'm kidding you not when I tell you of a certain serving police officer who had a African giant snail as a support animal, and during their training was asking if they could bring the snail into the classroom. Does that suggest that this is a robust character who will be able to serve in law enforcement, turning up to things with a giant African snail perched upon one shoulder, just in case the situation becomes too tense?
What the hell is it? I have to Google. You know that I'm going to be doing this because I need an image of a giant African snail, is what you're saying?
Just imagine a normal snail, giant size, with an African accent.
I can't do any of that, so I will Google and search for myself what that is.
So I know, obviously, that three of us have dogs. Gary, I don't know. Do you have some kind of pet?
I have a dog. I have
a dog
that looks a bit like, but not totally like, a West Highland Terrier. Goodness knows what her parents look like. She's a rescue dog. She was rescued on Christmas Day 3 years ago, and we said we would look after her until a permanent home was found. We are that permanent home.
She found it.
Funny how often that happens. Will you foster this dog until, 9 years later? Have you found the permanent owner yet?
What's her name, Gary?
Christmas.
Aww.
Yeah, she was named by, I think, the vets, and we said, oh, we're going to change that. But then we thought she'd been traumatized so much. She'd obviously not very long ago had puppies because, her middle was hanging down. She was incredibly quiet. Wouldn't even look at us when we first picked her up. And we thought, we can't keep changing her name. So it stuck. And everybody now knows who Christmas is. In fact, the other day I was going for a walk and somebody said, oh, you must be Gary. I said, yeah. She said, I recognize Christmas. There you go.
It makes me chuckle, in particular, coming off the back of that last episode. Imagine having a dog called Christmas and migrating, I don't know, to the Middle East or something, and you're in Saudi shouting, Christmas, Christmas. Someone is definitely going to take offense extremely quickly.
Well, she was found in China, where they don't really celebrate Christmas. And all the Chinese thought it was hilarious. Christmas! Oh, it's Christmas! Really, just like that, I promise you.
I see no complaints coming whatsoever. See previous episode, you'll get a response of thank you for your interest. So we know that one of Gabby's dogs actually has a bit of a crush at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, she is lying out in the corridor, and whenever she hears Brett talk, she wakes up from her slumber and looks around. So she has a major crush on Brett, even though she never met him. It's just the voice.
I feel we need to get Brett to say something especially for Molly now.
Where's Molly? Where is Molly? My girl.
See, I told you I have severe competition, and I may, in fact, lose that one because dogs reign supreme. Like, I, in all seriousness, like, we're talking about this for a reason, right? I guess it's just, it dawns on all of us that there are a lot of times where we would often pick to hang out with our dogs over some other humans in our lives. And there's a reason for that. Alec, you asked a bunch of questions, right? Like, what do dogs give us? Their loyalty is just unending, right? They are always there. I think it's the consistency with which they show up. They are always there, no matter what, right? Their interest in you, their desire to just be near you. And they don't talk back. They just listen. They just listen to everything that you have to say and watch you intently as if you are just everything that they need. They regulate. My dog regulates my nervous system personally. Like, he is just, love watching him play, the innocence of it, the pure joy that a dog gets just from running around. And the biggest stick they can find is all they need to be happy.
There's a key point in what you just said that I want to come to, which is really fundamental to us as coaches and mentors and the like. That is the two things that really create that bond, and two things that we can offer people in our roles: consistency in the way we show up and the way we hold space for them, and that unjudgmental listening ear. So, joking aside, there are lessons to be learned from the way a dog, air quotes, communicates with the owner. And you're absolutely right about animal regulation. And again, see the giant African support pet. But my brother, who is a animal behaviorist, once told me, just be like a dog, treat life like a dog, and you'll be okay. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? He said, if you can't eat it or play with it, then sniff it, pee on it, and walk on. And I thought, if I dealt with all of my problems, or all, not even necessarily problems, like, can I eat this or can I play with it? Neither. Piss on you, sod off. I would have far fewer worries in my life. Gary looks appalled.
Before you go, I just want to add one other thing that I'm in awe of when it comes to dogs, particularly, right? They are so trusting. Right? They just trust you and know inherently that this person is going to take care of me, right? We're responsible for they can't feed themselves. They can't let themselves out. I thought of this the other day, like, my dog is trusting me that I'm going to give him something that he can eat that isn't going to hurt him. And it is just that pure level of mutual kind of respect. I've sniffed you out enough to know that you're good, and I'm going to trust that you're going to take care of me, and I'm going to keep showing up for you, whatever that means. So I just needed to say that. It came to me. Sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I was just going to say, I took that attitude, eat it, play with it, or piss on it. But I got banned from the supermarket, and I'm not going to do that again.
The play with it part is really funny, right? Because we're human beings, so it's like you approach a human like relationship. Can I play with this person? Like, which could mean a whole lot of things. Like, are we going to be okay in the sandbox here? Like, do our personalities mix? Are we going to play nice together, or are we not? Are you going to let me sniff your ass, or like what's going on here? How we as humans, dogs do that, right? They size each other up really quickly. They know, they check each other out, they sniff a little bit, they hold back and they watch. What do we as humans do when we're trying to figure out if this is somebody that I want to engage with? Like, what's our dance? I don't know.
As humans, we do it as well. We actually have a saying in Germany: if we can't stand somebody, directly translated, the saying is, I can't smell him or her. Because we are also really attracted to body language, facial expressions, everything. And even the smell of a person will determine if we like the person or not. So we still do the same. But for me, the big difference is dogs take everybody at face value. And if you have a dog, you know that dogs don't like certain people. They don't trust them. They're very, very good in actually discerning who they want to be with and with whom not. They're not just mindlessly following anyone. They're really, really good in doing that. Also, for me, I think the big difference between us and them is, and what I find so lovely as a reminder, they live completely in the here and now.
Mm.
Right? If I have an argument with a dog, which we have every so often, they go like, and I might even sulk, and you can't even see they may judge me in that moment. You can see it in the eyes, but they don't hold a grudge. It's forgotten. We're fine now. 2 hours later, we are fine, grand, no worries. Because they live in the moment. That's why they can be so joyful. Oh, we're out playing, super joyful. They don't worry about, will I be playing tomorrow? They're not wondering. She gave out to me last week, so I won't look at her. You know what I mean? And they do that for a bit. I mean, if you have a cat, each time I had cats in the past, each time I went on a holiday, they sulked for 3 days when I came home. So it's not that they don't remember the whole, they do chat you. It's just like after 3 days, yeah, sure, we're okay. And we're back to
It's
present.
funny. I feel like every day and every moment of a dog's life, dogs specifically, right? Because there's a clear difference between dogs and cats in the way that they engage with life. But dogs specifically, every moment of their day is like a new, what are we going to do now? Like exciting, woohoo kind of feeling. And it's a lot of fun to watch it as a human. And to your point of this discernment, we took Smokey to like the fire department at Christmas time, and he's a pretty big dog. So to look at him, you might want to take a minute because you don't know, but he is very discerning in the way that he engages with anybody. He will sit and stare and alert and watch you until he decides if he wants to creep forward or let you in a little bit. And I remember standing there feeling like, this dog is the shit, man. Like, I love the way that he approaches life in that ability to just stand really regally and just look at everybody and let them think what they want about him. But he's going to take his time to decide who he wants to engage with and who he doesn't. Oh, sorry, Alec, I cut you off.
No, fine. So many things. There's an elder in the spiritual community in Greenland whose name escapes me, and I couldn't pronounce it anyway, but he is a great believer in smelling people, and obviously it's cultural for them. They will hug somebody, hold them, and they will take a breath and get the scent of the person. And I was listening to a podcast where he was explaining how awkward this was when he first visited America and stuff. But there's a truth to it, because I met up with a friend recently, mutual acquaintance, and the first question Erica asked of me was, what do they smell like? And I was like, what? And it's like, I bet they smell good, don't they? Do they smell good? And I'm like, this is awkward, because I may or may not have sniffed. And, so there are nuances for us in how we make judgment as well. But that point Gabby raised about living in the moment, they're both giving us the answer and showing us how to be. They've already given us the consistency and the unconditional listening, and then the solution is live in the moment. So in a lot of ways, they are great teachers. I'm just wondering why it is that people who live alone, I live alone. I used to have a dog. I have a beagle-shaped hole in my heart. What is it that they give us that makes anything up to a decade's life expectancy difference between somebody who lives alone and doesn't have a companion?
But there's different theories as well. So, I mean, we all know that we need connection, we need community. So, in a way, they give us the relationship and the community and the connection we don't have from another human being in our life. And it's also very, very practical from a science point of view, because they know that if we don't have physical connection, we have sensors in our skin. So if we never hugged or we never have a physical connection with somebody else, it actually makes us feel sick. The body actually needs it. Right, certain hormones are released, so the stress hormone goes down. So there's also scientific evidence that having a pet where you can stroke and cuddle with gives you that physical closeness we actually need as human beings.
I think it's in the word itself, right? They're companions for a reason. I think that's it, right? If you have a companion, it will lengthen your life in that way. It helps that they don't speak back. I think that's also key.
My dog speaks back. He speaks all day and he gives out to me. But again, it's in the moment. We're okay again 5 minutes later because of this, And I just thought of the name of the scientific evidence. It's called touch deprivation. So if you're still listener wants to look it up, it's actually a real thing.
Brett, you've been, other than speaking to Molly earlier, what have you got for
quiet. I don't know. I'm very quiet today. I'm just taking it all in. So companions, dogs, and any animal. I love all animals. There's different things to love about each one of them. So as far as Smokey, I don't know. I love that he lets me love him. Right? Like if I want to hug him, he'll be like, okay. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's good with it. So it's, I don't know. He's great. He's great. He comes over and I pat him. He knows where to come. I always find him by my feet or, go outside and he's all ready to have at it, rip around the yard and get a stick and play with the stick. I don't know. There's, I can see if you're by yourself, having an animal is huge, right? And because it makes you move more. They get you out, they get you up, they get you moving, right? You have to feed them. You got to give them water. You got to take them out. So that in itself, right? And then you have the unconditional love and all the other things that go right along with it. So, yeah, animals are great. Right? I've always had an animal all growing up. I've had times when I didn't, and I definitely enjoy having a pet, which is more like a family member. Yeah.
I think, Brett, what you've said actually is key, because we've been talking about what animals give to us. and all of the the exercise and the companionship and the unconditional. But actually, what you said was we need to look after them. So now we have an object outside of ourselves that we are looking at and caring for, and that this gives us then a sense of meaning as well. So, people who live alone, if they were totally alone all the time, that may be that would become almost intolerable. But the fact that they've got to go and care for something else gives a sense of meaning. If I wasn't here, then what would happen? And so then you have something that, this is, isn't it? For us as humans, our ultimate isn't our self-fulfillment. Our ultimate is caring beyond ourselves. And that animal there, that beautiful, great African needs somebody to care for it.
I suppose the good thing about a snail is, if that is your pet, I mean, it's always going to be roughly in the area that you left it. Whereas I've seen Smokey run, and he could be many miles away if you left him somewhere. The search area, I think, is probably key for me. I think that my next pet would probably not be particularly mobile, something that I could perhaps put on a post, know it would be there when I came back, something like that. We may have to put some of the animals in picture form in the comments for this one. Erica?
I'm distracted. I'm looking at an image of a giant African snail right now, and I'm thinking, no, thank you. I'll stick with my dog. Thanks.
And they're not that immobile. If you have a garden in your garden and you know that if nighttime comes, they're very, very quick eating all your plants. They're not that slow at all. That's a myth.
You're not feeding them properly, Gabby.
Oh my goodness.
But it's true. I actually have a friend, and she said it to me one day. If to the point what Gary made, the dog gave her purpose when she was really down, and she said, actually, that dog saved my life. I don't know if I would be still around if I wouldn't have had the dog I to care for, and the dog sitting with me when I was down on the couch with his head on my lap, comforting me. Because they are good on reading, and cats as well, by the way, and it's not only dogs. I know because we have dogs, we talk a lot about them, but also a lot of other animals are very, very good at picking up emotions, body language, and actually comforting us or other animals for that matter.
The only difference is cats own you. That's the one thing with cats. They own you. They're like, all right, where is that guy? Or where is that girl? It's on their terms. I don't need them to feed me. Let me outside. I'm going to get something to eat. Like, they're not shy. They'll do what they got to do. It's a good thing. They're more independent than cats.
They're more independent, but when they like you, because I had cats, they also come and comfort you and sit on your lap. Mm-hmm. So they're not that complete selfish species as everybody makes them out to be quite honest.
They're just temperamental. It's on their terms entirely. It's like, yeah, dogs are more like Brett was saying, even if they might not want to, they'll let you, right? It's sort of like, okay, yeah, you can pet me and you can hug me and you can do whatever you're doing to me. Cats, no. They're like, no, I'm going to set the terms here.
I mean, I've even heard of people who had cancers, for instance. The dog kept going to an area and sniffing to the point that it raised concern. And lo and behold, they had brought attention much earlier to the fact that there was cancer. And I don't want to go off into the fact that they now train dogs in particular to do that, but that connection is much deeper than just you're the person that feeds me or lets me out. There is, like your friend Gabby, who said that her life was saved by a dog. And again, companions all, they are that link to people. So perhaps it is no surprise that people live longer when they've got something to care for. And like Gary said, that the focus is outside of the self. Any closing thoughts on animal companions, regardless of number of legs, amount of fur? I do have a bit of a thing with those weird Egyptian temple cats, the ones that have got no fur, which I know coming from a bald man is a little bit judgmental, but seriously, they're just a little bit wrinkly. They look like foreskins on legs.
And that cat doesn't care that you think that way about
them. So true. Anybody else? Closing thought? If not, we can say goodbye, listeners, viewers.
I think you've just given everybody, Alec, a whole new way of mocking you and me in the future. You just hold your breath.
I'm waiting. And put your insults in the comments. Thanks, everyone.
Or your pet pictures.
Yes, that'd be better. But not...
Yeah, share the pictures of your pets. I would love that. I would love to see that. That would be great.
See you all soon. Bye.